Tuning drums can be tricky enough already, so let's see what we can do to make it as easy as possible. What I'm about to show you applies even more to old used drums. A lot of times the tension rods will get stiff and catch, making it difficult to actually achieve an even tuning from lug to lug. But if we can get the tension rods to tighten smoothly without catching, without getting stuck, we can much more easily achieve an even tuning, just finger tightening before we even begin hitting the drum. We're going to do two things to the rods, both of which are absolute game changers, especially on an old drum. So let's get started. So in order to do these two things to the tension rods, we have to take them off the drums, which is kind of a tedious process, but it is a lot quicker if you've got one of those Ratchet drum keys or a Ratchet screwdriver with a drum key drill bit on it. So you can quickly take all those rods off, get all the hoops and the heads off of the drums. The first thing we're going to do is clean off these tension rods down on the threaded end. That's really what we're concerned about. I really didn't do anything fancy here. I just sprayed some basic multi-surface cleaner onto a paper towel and used that to just wipe off the ends of the tension rods. There really wasn't much coming off, which actually might be part of the reason why these were getting stiff, because there's really not much oil left on them. Maybe not much was applied at the factory, and it's been years since I've done anything with these. So I think they basically just need a fresh coat of oil. There's really not much to take off of them, but I cleaned them off anyways and then rinsed them off just with water. You may have seen one of my previous videos where I bought a used snare and I decided to sort of refurbish the tension rods by doing this to that snare also. I bought some dry lubricant, which works really well for this because it's not gross and it doesn't attract pieces of dirt and sand and like pieces of sawdust from a stick. And so it's a much more cleaner surface. I found that I can get this done really fast if I just get all the tension rods lined up and then cover the heads of them with paper towels, because we don't need the lubricant all over the rods, just down there on the ends that are going to be going into the lugs. So I just sprayed on the first coat, rolled everything over, sprayed on another coat. It dries very quickly and they are good to go. Something else I like to do to tension rods, really just to further enhance their performance and help the drum stay in tune better and make the tightening more smooth, is put some of those nylon washers on instead of the metal ones. With previous drums that I've done this to, I didn't have a problem getting the old metal washers off. But apparently with these, the washers are put on there in such a way that you can't slide them past the threads without like tearing them off, without cutting those washers off. And I don't have the tools here in my apartment to do that, and it's really not worth doing because I read online that actually it doesn't make that big of a difference if you still have the metal washer on there but just slip the nylon washer on there underneath. Okay, I'll take these people's word for it and give this a try. I noticed that as I'm turning the tension rod, the metal washer is turning with the rod, and maybe the nylon washer is actually turning with that, or maybe it's turning against the nylon, but either way, there's not metal on metal. And so the metal washer really is at this point not serving any purpose. But what's cool about the nylon washer is that it's just generally more smooth. It's a smoother kind of friction with all of the metal there, the metal on the head of the tension rod and the metal on the hoop of the drum. Plus, I've noticed that usually drums will stay in tune a little bit better with the nylon. Maybe it's because the metal can kind of dig into it a little bit. I don't know exactly why, but it just seems to work better, and so I really like putting these on drums. So after slipping all the washers back on there, I put all the drums back together. Also, just another tip here, while you've got the heads off your drums, go ahead and check out all the screws attaching the lugs and the various mounts on the inside of the drum shell. Make sure all those are tight. There's nothing worse than to be in the middle of a gig and suddenly there's a screw bouncing around inside your floor tom because you have to take the head off to fix it, and that's pain. So while you've got all the heads off, get out a Phillips head screwdriver, make sure those screws are tight and good to go. And this is the part that I wish I could really demonstrate well in a video. I can't really show you how much smoother it is compared to the way it was before and how much easier it is to finger tighten. You can just see me doing it here, and I can really get an even tension on each lug just finger tightening. So if I finger tighten to as tight as I can get it with my fingers, the drum's actually in tune with itself, which puts me off to a great start. You know, maybe that's as tight as I want it if it's the resonant head on the kick, or maybe if it's the floor tom or something. But from there I can just do quarter turns, half turns with the key, and it's super easy to get the drum in tune, and then it stays in tune longer. So those are my 2 tips for the day. put some dry lubricant on your tension rods and try out some of those nylon washers. They're very cool, they work really well. They will make an old drum feel like new. As always, thanks so much for watching. If this provided value to you, if you found this video useful, I would love it if you would subscribe and join this community. I'm all about helping you become a better drummer, 1 week at a time, 1 video at a time, because I want all of us drummers to get better at our craft, whether it's through being able to tune our drums better or learning some other kind of skill or DIY tip. And by the way, I included links to the Blaster Dry Lube and the Tama nylon washers in the description below. These are Amazon affiliate links, so if you do decide to purchase them through those links, I get a small kickback and of course appreciate your support for this channel. I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.